So I've just launched Nuke Indie and I will show you how to do everything within Nuke that I showed you so far in this series. Let's head straight to the node graph and here's our viewer. Now let's go to our Finder and simply drag and drop the shots that we want to use into the node graph. So here's my film one and I'm importing the corresponding digital shot. Now we can connect these two to the viewer and with 1 and 2 we can jump in between them, and as you can see they look a bit weird and it's not log, and to get the log image without any transform we have to double click on them and hit raw data, and the same thing for the film shot. Alright, and we also don't want any input profile or similar, so set this one to none, and now we have an image that we can work with. Let's head to our digital image and zoom to the chart, and we have our white to black patch in here. So with Option, Shift and drag we can set an appropriate field to measure these patches. So in here we see our red, green and blue value, and always make sure to use 5 decimals. And what I would suggest is to put these into an Excel sheet, so measure all these patches. So this is the first one, so this is a red, green and blue channel, and do the same in here all the way to black. And then we would need to do the same thing for the film image. So again, from white we have our values in here to black, measure all the patches and write down the numbers. And once you've done that, we can right mouse click in the branch of our digital image, because we want to match our digital to the film one, and go to color and color lookup. And now call this one tone map. And in here we have our red, green and blue curves. So let's start with red and the white patch. I don't put all of these in now, and I also didn't put them in an Excel sheet for this tutorial, but just to show you how this works. So the digital one is always our first value, so Option Command click in here to create the new point. And our X value is always the digital one and our Y value is the film one. So for our white patch, the red channel has a value of, we are actually at the film one. So double click in here and set the Y to 0.37209 and hit 1 to jump to our digital one. And as you can see, it's all red now, so we need to disable this one when inputting all the numbers. Go to the very same white patch, and as an input we have a value of 5517, and now our curve is starting to shape. And obviously we need to do this for the green and the blue channel too, so just doing this point for the green channel now, 51971, and also for the blue one. And now let's head to the film patch, line it up again and put in the Y value. Some more room so you can actually see it. Something weird happened in here, but now we go. Alright, so we have our white point in the red, green and blue channel. And just so the curve has a better representation, I will do the black one. And now you have to do all of these steps for red, green and blue from white to black. Once we've done that, we can enable the tone map to see how it's matching up. And I prepared a tone map in here already for this tutorial. So let's connect this one up, and you see there's just the white and the black point in here now. So just to have a better representation. And now let's go to our digital shot, zoom a bit out and enable and disable. And as you can see, there's a pretty big change. And if we go from 1 to 2, you see our patches are lining up pretty nice now, but the colors are still a bit off. And for that, we need the Tetra Automator. So as you can see, this is the folder you've downloaded, and I'm just heading to Tetra Automator and drag this tetraautomator.nk. Just drag and drop it in here and connect it to the node graph. Double click on it and this looks crazy as hell, but just go to user, and again we would need an input for red, green, blue, cyan, magenta and yellow. And to do this, it's the very same procedure. So let's go to our digital shot, line the patch up again, make sure that your tone map is enabled and not disabled, because we want to include this one when using the Tetra Automata for this kind of workflow. And so we have our red, green and blue input for our red patch. So this is the input again, and we just need to input all the numbers. And we would need to do this for the green patch, blue one, cyan, magenta and yellow, and always use the input. Then we hit the number 2 to go to our film patch and do the very same thing. Measure all these patches, and now we are using these numbers for our output. Again, you would need to do this for all the colors, and once you've input everything, you can hit calculate and you will automatically get the result in the red, green and blue channel. And I also prepped this already. So here's the Tetra Automata that's already populated with numbers, and as you can see I have an input, output, and now a red, green and blue channel is populated. And if we jump between 1 and 2, you see our chart is lining up pretty nicely, and if we zoom out a bit you will probably see it even better. So that's a pretty nice match with a very simple workflow. So this would be before and after, before and after. And if this may look complicated at first, it's pretty easy, but just a bit of a tedious work. But once you've done it and master it, it's super easy to remember and you will get quicker with every time. And now if you actually want to export these two things to use it as a LUT in DaVinci Resolve or similar, you would need to right mouse click in here and say color 3D LUT CMS test pattern, and in here we would also need a generate LUT node. You don't want to have this image as an input but the CMS test pattern. Then we're applying our tone map. You see before after, our Tetra Automata before and after, and then we have our generate LUT function. So basically between the test pattern and the generate LUT function you would need to put in all of your nodes that you want included in the LUT. And this test pattern is a 2D representation of a 3D LUT with a cube size of 32. So if you want to have more precision, you can turn this one to 65. And as you can see, the test pattern will adjust accordingly. Then double click on the generate LUT function. As a file type, I would suggest to use the .cube file, as this is the standard for Resolve. Then choose our folder where we want to have this one, give it an appropriate name, and don't forget to type in .cube. This is a bit of a gotcha because Nuke won't do this automatically and it won't show up as a cube file. Then hit open and say generate and write LUT. Now we could just head to the directory where we exported this one and double click on it. In my case, Lattice will open up now, and now I can see what this LUT is doing. So you see linear transformation, very obvious in here, that's Tetra, and here are our curves. And now I can just import it in Resolve and use it as a negative emulation for my projects and combine it with a FillPrint emulation LUT, for example with the ones that are already shipping with Resolve, and you can find these ones in the FilmLooks folder. I hope this helps and clarifies some of the things you've asked, and hopefully this is easier to follow along now instead of just reading through the write-up. If you have any more questions, feel free to put them in the comments or reach out directly to me. I'm always happy to help and answer them. Thanks for watching and see you soon.